Are you guys ready to be totally shocked? You're going to be. Let's get started. So the shocking thing that has just happened is that I bought a BMW. Imagine that, guys. I hate BMWs. When I say that statement, it really means a lot of the newer BMWs. A lot of the people that I know that love BMWs will agree the newer ones are trash. If you guys watch Mrs. Wizard's channel, you remember watching a story where we actually went to look at a car and it turned out to be a disaster. You want to click the link below and go watch it if you haven't already. It's a very interesting story that she tells there. But after searching and searching and searching, we just kept coming across trash, just pieces of junk, or the price is too high, and finally, this thing came up for sale. We saw it on Facebook Marketplace with only 103,000 miles. It is a 1998 BMW Z3, and although it just needs basically brought up to snuff with maintenance, it runs and drives, the AC works, everything works on it. It just needs minor things. So yes, I bought a BMW and Mrs. Wizard's already liking it very well. Let's take a look around this thing. Here is the front of this Z3. It's kind of an eggplant color. It's called Violet. Is actually Violet 2 is the color, is what it's called. But the headlamps are pretty clean. It does need a new BMW roundel up here, which you'll see as we go around. They all are faded pretty bad, the emblems anyway. It has some Fusion tires on it, which are not very good. We're going to be replacing those. They are pretty old. We'll take a look at the date code in a little bit, but I remember them being, what, 10 years old, Mrs. Wizard?
I think so, at least.
But the wheels are decent. They're dirty, but they can be cleaned up. They're not chipped or scraped or gouged or anything. Here you can see the roundel here is also faded pretty bad. The paint is pretty decent. It has a couple little dings, like there's one right there on the door, which we could probably have fixed with some PDR. You come around to the back, which wasn't very many steps, Mrs. Wizard.
No, I like a small little car.
It's missing the little shroud that goes over the antenna here. That'll be replaced. And if we can see here on the convertible top that some of the threads are coming out, we'll see if our upholstery guy can repair that for us. But really, you're probably going to be just putting the top down and cruising in this nice weather, aren't you?
That's my goal.
So maybe we won't even mess with that, who knows. Again, it's not caved in, not rusted out, it's not beat up. It's in fairly good shape. Let's go ahead and jump under the hood. So before I open this, I want you guys to know that Grimes is so excited about working on this. He loves the Z3s and the E46s and things of that nature. He actually already started working on it before we could even get it filmed. So, you know, it is what it is. There we have the M52 engine, which you can see is, it's got age on it, but it's not gummed up with sludge or anything. It's just normal coloration. It's had decent service in its life, which is really good, and it runs really, really well. We're just doing the valve cover gasket there. We're going to be doing a lot of things, like I mentioned, bringing it up to snuff. We're going to do this coolant reservoir, because they like to blow up. They like to just blow and lose all the coolant everywhere. There's crankcase ventilation that underneath the intake. We'll be just doing all of those, the plastic heater hoses, the oil filter adapter seal. Just take care of all of it and get it all done so that Mrs. Wizard can enjoy the car and not have it leaking or breaking down or leaving her stranded. And you can see here, like I mentioned, Violet 2. That is the paint color on this car. Here you can see Grimes has a lot of these parts removed and on the table. There's a lot of new pieces and new parts, like this intake elbow, which is common to fail on these and crack. We have a new one here. There's the idle motor pipe. You can see it's already cracking right there. There's all the coils removed, so we could do a tune-up and also do the valve cover gasket. Here's the airflow sensor, which there's nothing wrong with this one. It works fine. We'll just put it back on when we're done. This is a new Vanos oil supply hose. Grimes recommended that we replace that. Here we have the valve cover, which you can see some like condensation-based sludge on it from the years of driving, but we'll just clean it up and put new gaskets on it. There's nothing here that's bad. Here we have some coolant hoses, valve cover gaskets. These are flex discs and all kinds of other things we're going to be doing, and we'll take a look underneath the car here in a minute. If you want to see the interior review, go to Mrs. Wizard's channel. She'll actually take care of that there. Again, that link is in the description below, and you get to see what the interior looks like. But here, let's go ahead and get this thing in the air and take a look underneath. So even with 103,000 miles on it, the chin spoiler here has got a few scrapes, but it's not cracked, it's not broken, it's not beat up really bad. We can see right here, it's a common thing on these engines, is that the power steering supply hose, which is a low pressure hose, is leaking and it's dripping down onto this hose. But nothing serious, no front main seal, no oil pan gasket. Everything else is dry. The steering rack is dry. But one thing that is not dry, you can see that that strut is bad and it's leaking. And brakes look like they're about more than half gone. We'll probably just do those. Nothing loose there. Sway bar links, they look good, but we'll probably replace them anyways. We go to this side. The strut is not blown on this one, but we'll replace them in pairs. Everything looks tight, everything looks good. Nothing loose, the brakes look good. They still have some life left in them, but might as well just do them. One thing that Grimes noticed when he did his inspection is that these control arm bushings here are completely ripped and torn. And same for the other side. We'll go ahead and just replace the entire control arm to take care of that, because the boots are torn on the ball joints as well. This here is the transmission. It is dry, but one thing that's interesting is actually a General Motors transmission. It's like a 4L30E or something like that. So it says right here on this sticker, never change the fluid. It's lifetime. In fact, I've actually got emails from people that have said they take their BMW to the dealership for our transmission service. They will refuse to do it. They say, no, it's lifetime. We can see a little leak going on the shift shaft seal here. And regardless of what the sticker says, we're still going to service it, because that's how you make a transmission last longer. This word lifetime, think about it. This applies to the mind of a dealership or the company. Lifetime is 200,000 miles. You should be getting rid of it and buying a new BMW. You should not try to make the lifetime be 400,000 miles. Shame on you for doing that. So put an X across that lifetime, because our definition of lifetime is different than their definition of a lifetime. We will be servicing this transmission. I don't care if they like it or not. There's a flex disc there that has some cracks in it. We'll be taking care of that. The transmission mounts look like they're pretty worn too. They're pretty squished. Probably take care of that. And as you can see, these things are adding up and piling up. 200 here, 100 there. It adds up very, very fast. The exhaust is all intact. Everything is there. It's not been modified. I'm really happy to see that. And there's no flex disc there, just a U-joint. Let's see if it's good. Yeah, everything's good there. This exhaust hanger looks like it's seen better days. We could probably put a new hanger donut on there, but nothing dangerous at the moment. Nothing leaking from the differential, nothing serious. The CV boots look to be in good shape. This shock maybe looks like it's leaked a little bit. Nothing's loose there. The brakes are 70% gone there. These boots are good. We can see that this shock has been leaking just a little bit. Brakes are 70% gone. Sway bar links need to be done. Just a lot of maintenance and upkeep that just needs to be brought up to date. Let's check the date code on these tires. So we were thinking these tires were 10 years old, and we did check the date code up front, and it kind of verifies to be about 10 years old. But one thing we didn't do is check all the tires, and what I've found is that persons in the past replaced one tire at a time, not a full set. Let's take a look. So you can see there's the 46th week of 2010, which makes this 13 years old. This one's the 8th week of 2011, which makes it 12 years old. There we can see 16th week of 2013, which makes it 10 years old. And 16th week of 2013 again. So they replaced the two front ones at the same time. The rear ones are at different dates. So although they were replaced at different times, they used all the same brand, the same type. Luckily, that's a good thing that they did. We are going to be replacing all 4 all at the same time and bring everything up to snuff like it should be there.
What? We just bought another used car that needs tires?
Yes.
Again.
Again. It's like every time we get a car, it needs tires. I think that people, the common public, looks at their tires, looks like it looks good, there's no leaks, it's got tread, and that's as far as they go. That's good enough. I'm just going to keep rolling with it. Because who wants to buy tires? But you really should when they get to be 10 years old or older, which they are on this car. Let's get this thing on the ground. So again, check out Mrs. Wizard's Ways in the description below. There's a link there to check out the interior review of this car and some of the other thoughts that she has on it. She's always wanted a small, sporty car. She's not into big, heavy cars or cars that are excessively long or large. She wants something small. She can zip around town. Also a convertible. She can put the top down and enjoy the breeze in her hair. This thing fits the bill, and we got it for $7,500. I think it's a pretty good deal because I don't need to get it repainted. I don't have to pull the engine. I don't have to do major work on it. It was very well maintained, but there for a short time here recently, it's not been maintained. That's what we're getting caught up on, all these gaskets and seals and spark plugs and things of that nature. But overall, it turned out to be a really good deal. If you're curious what kind of tools that Grimes used to work on this, or really any of the tools we use in the shop, check our Amazon affiliate link in the description below. We get a small cut and really appreciate it. Check out Mrs. Wizard's channel at Mrs. Wizard's Way, also in the description. And make sure to hit the subscribe button here because we got bus updates and all kinds of cool videos coming down the pipe. Thanks for watching.